Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 58 on February 11, 2024. From your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $11.99 versus the regular price of $19.99 for a total savings of $800. This limited time super discount basically is 52 weeks at $23 per week, less than the price of one 4% play, coming out to only $3.29 per day. With the cost of a 30-day all-access priced at $2.99, it is almost like getting 8 30-day all-access passes at no additional cost. As an added bonus, your all-access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl, the more additional days you get for free.
Hey guys, welcome in and a very happy Thursday to you now, February the 2nd of 2023, and the NBA in action here tonight. 7 games in total here, a couple of early slate games, couple of late slate games out on the West Coast, so a little something for everyone. And we're going to see if we can't find a couple of games here that we like with some edges, and we'll do it with the Thursday crew as we welcome back in Marco D'Angelo in the house. He's ready to rock, as is SportsMemo.com's UCapper, Ronald Kabang here, and Dwayne Bryant ready to rock here, WagerTalk.com, as plenty on the hardwood of both college and NBA. And something tells me, Marco, you got a little something locked, loaded, ready to roll for us here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great run, guys, and good news. I went out this morning. I saw my shadow, so that means 6 more weeks of winning. So we're ready to go, and we've got a college basketball play up at the site right now, and I'll be adding some more plays to the package to my card today. And like I said, it's been an incredible run the last 19 days. And since Thanksgiving, we're the #1 capper at WagerTalk in profit. So let's keep it rolling.
Rolling, yes. Papa was a roller song. Great job there, Marco. Continuing to cash tickets, which is what it is all about here, as is Dwayne Bryant continuing to roll on the college hardwood as well as the NBA. And a lot of games to choose from here tonight. Dwayne, do you have anything locked, loaded, ready to roll tonight?
I don't have any bets out there in the NBA just yet. I may add something after the show. I do have 4 college hoops plays up. They're all in one package for just $19. You can get those at dbbets.com. That will take you to my page on the WagerTalk website. I am #1 in college basketball profit since December 1st. If you're betting $100 a unit, you're up close to $6,000 in that time. I'm looking for another 4-0 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it rolling here, guys. Dwayne and Marco at WagerTalk.com. The guy crushing it over at SportsMemo.com. The UCapper, Ronald Kabang in the house here. Ronald, a lot of ways to go here on the cards tonight, college as well as NBA. What do you got for us at SportsMemo.com?
Yeah, for the premium clients right now, I have 3 college basketball plays and also 4 NBA plays. Really seeing the NBA board well right now. Hit 9 of my last 10 on that in the NBA side. Hitting pretty well in college basketball as well since the conference games have started. So hopefully you just continue to go in this direction as far as winning ways towards the end of the season here.
Yeah, WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com, 3 of the most profitable on the hardwood here, guys. Tonight, make sure you visit them right now as soon as you can and grab those best bets here for tonight while we take a look at the contrarian play of the day. The contrarian gods, they're looking in one spot here tonight, and that, of course, is going to involve the Indiana Pacers, as they are going to welcome in the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know there are some people who think LeBron plays tonight. They're just going to go ahead and break that scoring record tonight. Marco, he's just going to drop 96 against the Pacers, but the contrarian gods are saying, not so fast. Good news, I believe Halliburton still questionable at best here. Boy, oh boy, they could use him. But are you trusting the Indiana Pacers getting 2.5 tonight against the Lakers?
Yeah, he's still Halliburton's still listed as questionable, but after practice yesterday, they indicated that they thought he would be able to play tonight, that he would be available. So if he takes the court tonight, that's going to be a big plus for the Pacers, because since he's been out, they've been 1-10 straight up. It's not been good. But let's just look at this and why it's the contrarian play of the day. The line's 2.5 on the Lakers. So basically we're saying just pick the winner, okay? You got LeBron on one hand and you got Indiana on the other hand. And as I said, they're 1-10 their last 11 games. I'm sorry, that looks just way, way too easy to grab the Lakers in this one. And the Lakers, you know what? They've not been world beaters. They've been up and down. Decide, when it's going to come. LeBron and company, well, they were in New York for their last game. LeBron likes the bright lights, and playing in New York, they put up 129 in that game. I don't trust the Lakers from one night to the next. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look at Indiana here. A couple stats for you. Indiana, as bad as they've been this year, when they're playing a home game and the total's 230 or higher, guess what? They're 12-4 against the spread in those games this year. And I also find an NBA angle. This is a league-wide angle. Play against road teams when the line is +3 to -3. If they're off a road win in which they scored 110 points or more, when playing their third game in 4 nights, which is what the Lakers are doing tonight. Give me the contrarian side. I'll take the Pacers.
All right, Marco, back in with the contrarian gods here tonight. Ironically enough, Halliburton does sound like he's going to play there, Dwayne. I am seeing Anthony Davis. It looks like he's going, but LeBron, I'm assuming in the next 7 or 8 minutes at the 4:30 report, will probably still be questionable. I'm guessing if he doesn't go, this line ain't going to be what it is right now. How do you approach it?
Well, I approach it by not betting it at all, but for the sake of the show, I'll give you my 2 cents worth. And I know you're going to be shocked here that I'm going to disagree with Marco, but here we go again. These two met in LA back in late November. The Pacers did get a 1-point win. There was a small dog. The road teams actually won 4 straight in this non-conference series. I don't think that changes here. Indiana's 0-3 straight up and against the spread their last 3, and 1-10 straight up their last 11. You mentioned Halliburton. From what I've read, he will be back tonight. And I think in this first game back, I think that's not necessarily a great thing. He's been out for a bunch of games. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, to get the offensive flow going with him back on the floor. And the Lakers, they've been money makers as non-conference road favorites or dogs of 3 or less. They're a perfect 5-0 straight up in ATS in that role. And they were dog in 4 of those games, still went 5-0 straight up. And a lot of times in these NBA games, we talk about the rest factor. And LA's had 1 day off. The Pacers have had 3 days off. So looks like an edge for the Pacers there, and they have done well in that spot. 3-0 straight up and against the spread as a home dog when they've had 2 more days rest than their opponent. But the Lakers have gone 9-0 straight up, 8-1 ATS on the road as a favorite or dog of 3 or less when their opponent's more rested than they are. So I don't really think that's going to be a factor here. Last but not least, the Lakers are 5-0 straight up in ATS on the road when the line's between the 3s and the total is 230 or higher. Add that all up, and normally I'm a contrarian, but I'm going to disagree here, and I'm going to say that the Lakers are the right side of this one.
All right, Lakers for Dwayne. Guess what, Ronald? Tiebreaker time, man. You got LeBron. I'm guessing with the money that's come in here on the Lakers, maybe LeBron is going to go. A fully healthy and full in force Lakers team against a welcome back Halliburton Pacers. How do you side in this one?
Yeah, I believe LeBron's going to play. I think he went from -1 to -1.5, and now it's at 2.5 here. And I think that movement has to do with LeBron probably playing tonight. One thing that I noticed with the Lakers, they're coming off of that OT win against the Knicks. This is actually the second OT game in their last 3 games. This is also the 4th game of a 5-game road trip. I think fatigue is going to start to hit this Lakers team pretty soon here, and it could be today. With Hallie back on the Pacers side, there could be some issues with their offensive efficiency, but one thing we do know is that Hallie is going to push the pace here, and that could hurt the Lakers in the long run for the full game, from a full game perspective, as far as having fresh legs and things like that. This is, I think, to me, one of those games where people look at the revenge angle, right? The Pacers won and covered the first matchup of the season, 116, 115. But it doesn't seem like the Lakers really do well in these revenge spots in general. Also, off of a win in OT, the last time the Lakers won in OT, the following game, they lost to the Jazz 116 to 130. Gave up a lot of points. They lost by 14 in general. Pacers as well. They do well in this spot. I think Brian, he mentioned 2 days of rest or more, 6-2 straight up and against the spread in that spot. Also, if they have at least 3 days of rest like they do tonight, 2-0 straight up and against the spread. Both of those games did have Halliburton in there. Also as home dogs, 11-5 ATS in there in that spot, 9-7 straight up there. If it's against a non-conference opponent, they've also been going over the total in those games. I can only look towards the Pacers here in this one. I would go with the contrarian God tonight.
All right, well, there we go. 2-1, but great information all the way around there. The Contrarian Gods, Indiana, they're going to be getting 2.5 for now. Take them, says the Contrarian Gods. A couple other interesting games here tonight, including this next one. Boy, oh boy, Clippers traveling to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. 4s, I think, is what we're seeing now, with that total hovering around the 231 mark here, and that has come down. It looks like just a hair here, but plenty of different ways to attack this game. 10 o'clock Eastern time is the tip. Should be a good one, Mark. I think we'll learn a little something about these two teams tonight, or will we? How do you approach this one?
Well, full disclosure, the Clippers have been I've said it many times. They're my thorn in my side, because you just never know what the Clippers are going to do. They're the most Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team in the NBA. Depends on who wants to play tonight and this and that. But obviously, when it's a big premier marquee matchup like tonight, you would expect all hands on deck. And with that said, I am going to look at the Milwaukee Bucks to start this. They're playing their best basketball of the season right now. They've won 5 in a row. And although they've put up a lot of points, they're playing some good defense. And that's the key to this. In 3 of the last 4 games, they've allowed 44% or less shooting. Now, if you look at what they've done themselves, they've been an offensive juggernaut. In the last 5-6 games here, they've scored 150, 141, 135, 124. So you would think with the Clippers coming to town, another high-scoring game. Not so fast. And it's not going to be fun to be watching this game if you're holding an under ticket, but that's what I'm going to be having in this one. Why? Because I think Milwaukee puts that little extra emphasis on the marquee matchups. And this is definitely that with the Clippers coming to town. And why I say that, I'm going to give you another stat here with Milwaukee. This season, when they're a home favorite of 6 points or less, they're 11-2 against the spread. So that means they are playing lights out against the best teams in the NBA. Hence, the 6 points or less is a home favorite. And I've got as NBA angle, this is league-wide over the last 5 seasons. Home teams where the total is equal or greater than 230 after 2 or more consecutive wins, and they are a good team. And by that, I mean a team that's winning 60% or better, and they're playing another team with a winning record, 38-15 to the under. That's a league-wide angle. I'm going under in this one. It's a TV game. Everybody's going to be watching it. Nobody's going to want the under. You get that built-in factor of a couple extra points on the over. And as we always say on these TV games, if you're betting the under, don't be betting it now. Wait till right before game time. You're going to get your best number.
All right, good stuff there. Should be a fun one here. I'm going to venture to say Dwayne's going to look at the over here. But in the meantime there, Dwayne, it used to be a time where Giannis at home laying a small number. It was almost automatic here. Not so fast, though. How are you approaching this game? Side, total, what are you looking at?
Well, I'm in a bit of a dilemma here because I'm using the side and the total later in the show. So I'm going to be brief on this game for just this segment. It's hard for me to find fault with either side here. I mean, the Clippers have won 6 of their last 7. They've been looking pretty good now that Paul George is back. The Bucks have rattled off 5 straight W's, and they're always tough to beat at home. I'm a big advocate of the SDQL database. It's an awesome tool if you're a situational handicapper like I am. I run tons of queries on every game and the specific situations that are in play for each game. And both of these two teams have a bunch of situational angles that are in play for this game that they've performed very well in. So again, I'm going to have a play on the side and the total for this game a little bit later on the show, so I'll just leave it at that for now.
It's an intriguing spot here, you Capper, because I don't know. Are you sold on the Clippers being consistent enough now, coming off of that Chicago win in which they went 12 of 44 from 3 to drive you absolutely crazy? They're certainly capable of a shootout here, but I don't know. What kind of game are we getting with these two teams tonight?
I mean, I would think that the Clippers and Bucks they would be considered top tier teams in both conferences here. And when we typically see those types of games, they are playoff atmosphere type games where they play strong defense. So I would lean towards the under here with Marco. I know a lot of the teams. I mean, just like Dwayne, I'm also an SDQL person. So a lot of things to me, just looking from a team trend perspective, they look towards the over, right? But for me, I like the league wide perspective more stronger than the team trend. So that's the way that I look at it. And I see where Marco is going with that under. As far as the side goes, I do like the Bucks here. They've been pretty strong at home for the most part of the season, 21-5 straight up, 17-9 ATS. But if you look at them versus non-conference opponents, they're actually 10-1 straight up, 8-3 ATS, so a little bit better. But then you look at it again from a different angle, just like how Marco did. You bring down the line to a different level, right? If they're favored by less than 8 points, they're 6-0 ATS in that spot specifically. And on the other side, the Clippers, when they're on the road versus a non-conference team against a non-conference team with a winning record, they have not yet won a game in that spot. They lost 4 games and they covered only 1 of them. So to me, they're losing by an average of like about 8 to 9 points per game in that spot. I would just look towards the Bucks here.
All right, looking towards the Bucks here. We got some unders. We got a Bucks. We've got 2 be determined coming up here. Should be a good one, though. Clippers and Milwaukee here tonight. And let's focus on a total in a game here tonight with our overtime section, as we'll take a look here at the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Chicago Bulls. Seem to get this thing ticking up ever so slightly. 236 and a half is an open. We're starting to see 237s now. I mean, hell, we know Hornets ain't going to play any defense, Marco, but they are in the second of a back-to-back. Big game against Milwaukee last night. Do we trust them to contribute enough with the Bulls to get this up and over, or is it under for you?
No, it's up and over for me. And you know what? As you said, they don't play defense, but actually they held Milwaukee to 124 points last night. That's the best that teams have done recently against Milwaukee. So hats off to them. And now they've got to come right back and play the next night. I always say tired teams don't play good defense. And then I look at Chicago in their last game. They're coming off. Now, granted, that one was on Tuesday night, but they're coming off playing the Clippers. We just talked about the Clippers being one of those marquee teams, and they played a low-scoring game, 108 to 103 in that one. And by the way, Chicago went the final 3 minutes and 42 seconds, scoring just 3 points of that game. Why I bring that up is because that's my only loss this week was that game. And it pissed me off by getting 3, lose by 5. But I look for both teams after coming off big games. Now, as we use a horse racing term, both are stepping way down in class, dropping down against their opponent tonight. I expect a faster pace. and we see that big total, people are going to knee-jerk reaction and look at their last games and said if they couldn't go over win those last two games in their opponents, how are they going over tonight? Easy. No defense, no talent. They're just going up and down the court. Take the over for the Bulls and Hornets.
It's what do you think, Dwayne? Shootout tonight? Is it just simply over or not for you?
Or do I just disagree with Marco again?
Yes, please do.
No, I don't. I don't. I actually agree with him this time. You know, I was starting to think that you guys just put me on this show just so Marco would have an opposite viewpoint, but I guess I don't know. I actually agree with him on this one. I was actually hoping this game was not going to be one of the games for the show, because it's probably the game I like the least from any angle on this card today. But you know, these two met twice this season. Each team grabbed a double-digit home win. Both games went way under the total. The first meeting in Chicago saw a total of 222. They managed a combined 194 points. They both shot poorly. Charlotte shot 39% from the field, just 7 of 32, 22% from three-point range. In the second meeting in Charlotte, the total actually went up to 235 despite that low-scoring first matchup. And they did it again. They stayed under by 28 points. And again, the road team shot very poorly. And both teams sucked from three-point range. They went a combined 11 for 57, 19.3% from downtown. Hard to get much worse than that. So here we are. We're in the meeting. And despite the first two going under the total, we're seeing a total that's higher than the first two matchups. So, you know, obviously the odds makers aren't into giving out gift lines here. They know these two teams should be scoring tons of points in their matchups. I think the third time arm here, we're going to see the shooting at least be decent here. And I think if these two find to even shoot an average game, see them hit 240 here. So I'm going to lean to the over as well.
All right, going to lean towards the over in this one. Ronald, are you going to make it a clean sweep? Is it a shootout tonight, or do you worry the Bulls have enough defense to be able to limit it?
Yeah, I think the pace of play will be towards the over. I'm not too sure whether or not these offenses will show up in this spot specifically. I think Hornets, they haven't done well as road dogs. 5 and 20 straight up in those games. 17 and 8 to the over. That points to the over. But if we look at it a little bit deeper, this is the first leg of back-to-back games for the Hornets here, and in those games, they're 5 and 2 to the under, including if they are on the road in the first leg of back-to-back games, 4 and 1 to the under, 0 and 5 straight up, 1 and 4 ATS. So things pointing towards the Bulls. But if we're looking at it from a total perspective, I would think the under is the play here. More things to point to the under. Hornets versus teams they already beat in the most recent matchup. 4 and 1 to the under there as well. And if you look at the Bulls at home versus conference opponents, they have been covering in those games. But again, more support for the under. 11 and 5 to the under in those games. If you add that the total is up 230 or greater, they're I think it's 6 and 0 to the under, averaging close to right under 230. So it's really close to the total as far as like where I want it to be pregame if I was to put this line somewhere. So it's not going to make my card, but I would lean towards the under.
You lean towards the under. Okay, not enough trust there for you, Capper, to get those points there. So should be interesting here. What do we get from this Bulls team here tonight at home against the Hornets? All right, there are some intriguing dogs here tonight. Let's see which ones might be barking.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's take a look here. We talked Indiana. Memphis finds themselves on a dog roll, as does the New York Knicks. Charlotte there, of course. New Orleans in Dallas. Looks like they finally got a flight. We've got Golden State, 12. They are the biggest dog on the card. And, of course, the Clippers we just talked about here. So some intriguing spots here, Marco, for the dogs tonight. Is there one that might be barking for you?
Yeah, Golden State might be the biggest dog price-wise, but clearly the biggest dog tonight is New Orleans, who's lost 9 straight, and that's where I am going to land. Even though they've lost 9 straight, I'm looking at Dallas. This has been a team that has been just an absolute money burner this season if you're backing them on a regular basis. They've got Golden State on deck, so you've got a team that's lost 9 in a row coming to town. You got Golden State on deck. Where are you going to be looking? I think they're going to be one of their, we just have to show up and we're going to win this one. Another thing I don't like about Dallas tonight, this is a team that 4 of their last 6 games, they've shot 46% or less from the field. Do you want to be laying points with a team not shooting the basketball well? And I talk about being a money burner. Well, when they've been a favorite this season, between 3.5 and 9.5. How about just 5 and 16 against the spread? I can't do that. And when they're coming off a win this season, how about 5 and 19 against the spread? Nope, not doing it. Give me the Pelicans tonight plus the points. I don't know if I can get to the sprinkle or not, but I definitely like them plus the points.
Just kind of feel like Ingram's going to have one of those games at some point where he's just going to dominate everybody on the court. All right, New Orleans for Marco here tonight. I think I have a feeling where Dwayne might be heading here with his dog barking tonight. Which one, Dwayne? Which one are you looking at?
I am looking at the Clippers plus the 4 here. LA's won 6 of their last 7. Usually when I'm looking for a dog, I'm looking for one that's at least playing some decent basketball. We're getting that here with them. They're a single-digit non-conference road underdog here. They performed well in that particular role this season, getting the money in 4 or 5 games in that spot. They're also in the middle of a road trip. They're coming off a road win with another road game on deck. They've done well in this role when installed as the dog, cashing in 3 of 4 of those games, in which they were a road dog off a road win with another road game on deck. I can't really say anything bad about the Bucks. They're a great team. They're tough to beat at home. This is more of a case of I don't really like any of the other dogs on this card, so I got to pick one for the show. And the Clippers are playing well right now. They've looked good since Paul George has come back. Some might say this looks too easy. That's a low line for a Bucks home game. I'm going to take the Clips plus 4 as the dog for the show.
Yeah, I mean, how many people would be really shocked if the Clippers ended up winning this game here? Plus 4. The clip is where Dwayne's going to look here for that barking dog. Now, how about it, Ronald? Which way are you going to look for your dog tonight?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about doing the Pelicans there, but Marco got to him first. I'll go with the Pacers here. I know we talked about them in the contrarian section, but I do think that the Pacers have a legit chance to win this one outright. Like I said earlier, the Lakers, after they won an OT game the last time, they lost the following game by 14 points to the Jazz. In this spot here, they've been on the road 4 out of the 5 fourth game of the last 5 as well. So to me, I think the fatigue is going to hit the Lakers at some point, and tonight might be the night with the Pacers playing a faster pace. I think it could be a situation where the Lakers could probably be winning early in the game, first quarter, first half, but the Pacers, they got the fresher legs tonight, and I think the full game will be on their side.
All right, liking the Pacers here tonight as a dog does Ronald Kabang. Now, of course, got to narrow it down, though. It is time for us to get some best bets. All right, here's how it rolls. We throw 60 seconds on the clock, give these guys a chance to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. As long as they drop a best bet, we are good to go. And seeing how Marco hasn't lost since 1986, we'll start with you, Marco. 60 seconds, my man. Where are you looking tonight on the card?
Well, guys, it has been a great run. 7-1-1 for the start of this week, so you can head over check out what we've got going this tonight in basketball. Got a big 4% play up. But for me, I'm going to head to New York and I'm going to look at the Knicks at home. Miami, I don't like the scheduling spot for them. They're coming off a very physical game against Cleveland last time out. They got the win 100-97, and they've got Milwaukee on deck. So bad scheduling spot. You might think, oh, well, they got to take care of business tonight against the Knicks. But we find the Knicks in a pretty good spot. They're 2-2 their last 4, but they've played some tough teams along the way. And I'm looking at this one. Miami as a favorite this season, just 11-23 against the spread. Also, after a game in which they covered the spread this year, Miami's just 4-15 against the spread. Give me the Knicks for a mild upset tonight is the best bet.
All right. Love it. All right. Screw you, Jimmy Butler. The Knicks it is for Marco. Talk to us here, Dwayne. I think we're heading back to the Bucks and Clippers, but tell us what you're thinking in this one.
Well, I'm disagreeing with my buddy Marco again here because my best bet for the show is for this Bucks-Clippers game to go over the total. Clippers are 5-1 to the over on the non-conference road, going over by an average of 9.4 points per game. The only under was by 2 points. 2 times this season, the Clippers were on the road off a game where they shot under 40%. And both of them went way over. The Clippers are 10-2 to the over in non-conference road games. One of those went over in overtime. Another game went over and stayed under. But if you take those 2 out, you're still at 8-2 to the over by an average of 9.25 points per game. The Clippers have the highest offensive efficiency in their last 7 games. Clearly, having Paul George back has helped that offense. The Bucks are 3-0 to the over at home off a win where they shot under 42%. Games went over by almost 10 points a game. So give me the over.
Over. All right. Good. That should be one hell of a game here tonight with the Clippers and the Bucks up and over. For Dwayne Bryant, how about you, Ronald Kabang, over at sportsmemo.com? Tell us, man, which one of these games made your best bet for the show?
Yeah, I'm looking at this Nuggets first quarter here. They're facing the Warriors, who are on the second leg of back-to-back games. If we look at the Warriors on second game of back-to-back, they're 1-3 straight up, 2-2 ATS, 2-2 to the over. Nothing significant there. But if we focus in on that first quarter, their average first quarter margin in those games, minus 10.6. And we had the line here at, I think you can get it at 3.5, minus 3.5 for the Nuggets, or minus 4 for most books. But I've seen some minus 3.5. So I would look towards the Nuggets there. Also, if you look at it a little bit closer in those second leg of back-to-back games, those were all double-digit lines. So if you look at the Nuggets, when they're double-digit favorites, 8-1 straight up, 5-3-1 ATS, focusing in on that first quarter again, plus 7.1 points average margin in that first quarter. A lot of things pointing towards the Nuggets first quarter. That's going to be my best bet for today. And also, I want to shout out my 30-day all-access pass over at sportsmemo.com. I do NBA, college basketball, and soccer. All access 30 is the promo code.
Boom. That's it. Head on over there, guys. Also, make sure you check them out. Triple-double Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. You can check that out. Also, always great stuff there with Ronald Kabang over at sportsmemo.com. But to recap once again, it's been since 1986 since Marco's lost, but he is going to throw the New Orleans Pelicans out there, I believe, as his dog tonight will be barking. And his best bet is going to be the Knicks at home in a dog roll against the Heat. Dwayne likes the Clippers here tonight, +4 as the barking dog against the Bucks. He also likes, as his best bet for the show, the total to go up and over in that game at 231. Ronald Kabang says, I'll take the Pacers, 2.5 here tonight against the Lakers. His best bet, though, Denver, first quarter against the Golden State Warriors, 3.5 is what we're seeing on that. The contrarian gods also agree with Ronald as far as Indiana +2 over the Lakers tonight. Bottom line is, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can go pick up Marco's best bets here tonight. He told you about the package, 4%. Best bet ready to roll here now on his page at WagerTalk. Dwayne also there, college hoops, NBA action. We've got all week long, in fact, those 3-day, 7-day, and 30-day all-access packages, guys. It's the way to do. Partner up with Dwayne, partner up with Marco, and if you head over to sportsmemo.com, Access 30 will give you that 30-day all-access pass with Mr. Kabang at sportsmemo.com. Grab it, guys, whether it's the hardwood or the soccer pitch. Ronald Kabang has been crushing it at sportsmemo.com. All right, great hardwood action, college hoops, NBA here tonight. Even more tomorrow. Plenty of great games going on. Of course, we'll be back as we get ready for what is going to be a crazy, the calm before the storm weekend. A lot of basketball coming up this weekend. No more football until, of course, next week. And that is when the craziness will start. But until then, come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll break him down. We'll get you ready for the weekend. And until then, on behalf of Marco, Dwayne, and Ronald, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with all those plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 58 on February 11, 2024. If you're your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $11.99 versus the regular price of $19.99 for a total savings of $800. This limited time super discount basically is 52 weeks at $23 per week, less than the price of one 4% play, coming out to only $3.29 per day. With the cost of a 30-day all-access priced at $2.99, it is almost like getting 8 30-day all-access passes at no additional cost. As an added bonus, your all-access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl, the more additional days you get for free.